Hey guys, welcome, right? Welcome aboard, welcome back, welcome home, just welcome in general. I would like to talk, please, about the new moon that is happening at 11 degrees of Aries on the 1st of April. And that is no April Fool's joke. It is actually happening, right? So new moons are times of beginnings. They are times of intention. And sometimes it helps to know what the energetics surrounding those intentions are so that you can put the energy to work even more deeply in your own favor, right? So here's the deal. Let's start with the moon, right? The moon is about our feelings, our instincts, our responses, our reception. It's our yin energy, right? Our subconscious mind, our habits, our memories, and what we feel is home. Um, Now, that's quite a big deal, right? So it's all about your heart. So we have an Aries new moon. And Aries energy is about inception, right? So it works really well hand in hand, kind of dovetails with the whole concept of a new moon, right? Because Aries is kind of like new moon vibes anyway. So Aries is about inception of energies, right? It's about action and adventure, right? All your favorite movies are Aries movies. Well, all my favorite movies anyway. It's about impulses. It's like a fire starter, like Aries run around and they start all the fires and they run away and leave somebody else to tend them. So it's about combustion and combustibility. It's about passion, right? Leadership. It's about headstrong energy, right? Independence. It's a little blurty. It's a little, um, short sometimes. And then what happens with this new moon is that it's conjunct Mercury and Chiron. So that's very exciting. So Mercury's energy is about communications and expression, right? It's fast, it's dynamic, it's very quick. And it is also brash and blurty, right? It's very quick-witted, it's very intellectual energy. So, all right, we're gonna keep going. I'm good with this. Shall we? We're just gonna pull. And then it is also conjunct Chiron. And Chiron is about your wounds, right? Your process of healing. It's about solutions. It's about trial and error, right? It's about your growth, your integration. It's about how you witness yourself as a victim or the victor. It's also about the consequences of your traumas, right? So how you choose to carry them, how you choose to put them down, and what that process is, and how you're witnessing actually, wow, how you're witnessing actually leads to that. And so here's the deal. This tight conjunction of Mercury and the Sun and Moon and Chiron, right? So all the lights are in one little place plus Chiron. So this is all that really deeply personal energy. So this is really like how you identify. So right now you're going to be feeling fast and speedy, right? You're going to be feeling like you've got a lot of stuff going on, and it's going to be a very you focused new moon. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? We're going to make intentions about ourselves and our intentions and what we want to express, right? And how we're going to speak our healing. That's beautiful. But there is a whole lot going on in the rest of the sky that I really want to kind of at least touch on because I think it's helpful in terms of how you create the rest. Nice. How you create the rest of your intention. So Neptune and Jupiter are about to conjunct. This is a big deal, and I'll do a separate video on that. But what I really want you to understand is that this is an opportunity in terms of creation of the next set of cycles in your life, right? So Jupiter is about knowledge and wisdom and wit again, right? So again, we're talking about communication. We're talking about how you're expressing, how you're um, in command of your wisdom and your knowledge, right? And the difference there is experience, right? Which speaks to our next thing. But I definitely want to talk about how Neptune affects Jupiter there. Yeah, that's right. So Neptune is about transcendent energy, right? It's about inspiration. It's about the etheric, right? The ecstatic, the visionary, the compassionate. And so this is kind of this beautiful, giant, utopian space, right? Like I literally witness like castles in the sky when I think about Jupiter and Neptune conjunct. And then there is this conjunction of Mars and Saturn and Venus in Aquarius, right? Mars, of course, is the planet of action and drive, raw energy, potency, right? Passion, strength, initiative. And then we have Venus, which is about our 3D experience, right? How we witness beauty, how we witness harmony, how we create our home. And we talked about that, right? That's that energy of the moon. Venus also rules intimacy, intimate relationships, voluptuousness, alluringness, eroticism, desire, right? So that way that you put things in motion based on your desire. And then there's Saturn, right? Which is about rules and boundaries and restrictions and reality, and it's contracted energy, which isn't a bad thing, right? There's no judgment in that. It's just, I saw you though. It is what it is, right? Contracted energy, and that's okay. You have to have contraction so you can have expansion. And that little set of Mercury, of Mars and Venus and Saturn are squaring the North Node, right? Which is how we get our job done, how we create our future, right? And then that Jupiter and Neptune are sextiling the North Node. And then Pluto, of course, right? Transformation, power, big giant rebirth cycles, super intense magnetic energies. All of these are touching the North Node. And that is about how you are in creation of not just your learning, but your experience and your destiny and your future. And the key here is that it's really important to be in witness to the ways that you are calling in your future. Mars and Venus and Saturn are like that want, need, desire trio, right? That we've been talking about in the weekly What's Up. Thank you. And then Jupiter and Neptune are that like really deep undercurrent that is flowing in and keeping everything moving. And then we've got the sun and the moon and Mercury and Chiron really asking, how are you in creation? What are you speaking? How are you abracadabraing all of this into motion in your life? And the key is with your intention, it's with your feelings, it's with your alignment, right? That is the key. This new moon is about creating an instinctive, emotional, desirous response that then you can step into and keep walking forward with, right? It's about understanding where your true north is so that you can set your trajectory and speak into it and allow everything that's not in alignment to fall away, right? This is how manifestation works. This is how inception works. Now, this is the first new moon of our astrological new year, right? And so it's an Aries new moon, of course, Aries being the first sign, inception energy. So this is a real time to just fresh start and really stop and get right with your why, okay? Your why. So let's talk about it. We have the Page of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands. The Page of Pentacles, right? This is brand new ways. This is messages. This is something coming in from the universe, from your experience, from your environment that is going to give you an opportunity to create your sensual experience, right? 5 senses in a brand new way, right? So we have Venus conjunct Mars and Saturn in Aquarius. Beautiful. That's a beautiful energy for the Page of Pentacles. And then we have the Queen of Wands, okay? The Queen of Wands, right? She is the Queen of Fire. And she came up in the weekly What's Up as well. She is this beautiful, fiery queen, passionately driven. She is really an earthy representation of that Venus energy, right? Seduction and intimacy, super, super feminine energy. Very emotion based, very passion driven. And so how do you get where you need to go? Well, this Page of Pentacles gives you the grounding, the idea, the concept, right, for how you allow that passion to pull you forward. We have the Queen of Pentacles and then the Eight of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles is really these two combined, let's be fair. And so the Queen of Pentacles is about the full sensual experience, right? All queens, you know, in Eileen land are the full embodiment of their element. And this is the full embodiment of that earth energy. And right now, what we have in earth is Pluto and the North Node. And we talked about the North Node, right, is your lessons, what you're here to learn. So we have the Eight of Pentacles here, which is about mastery through practice, right? It's about dedication. It's about devotion. And so what are you devoting yourself to? If you're devoting yourself to your why, that would probably be a great idea. What better endeavor is there than to devote all of your attention and your passion and your energy into creating what you know is your why? Mm-hmm. This is a 6. This is a 6. Nope, that's a 9. It's a 9. God, I don't know what this number is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to call it 6. I'm going to guess. Yeah, it's a 6. It's a 6. Okay, hello. Sorry, Latin class was a long time ago. 6 of Wands, right? Yeah, it's a 6 of Wands. It's all victory. Those are swords, dude. 6 of Swords. You see it? All right, 6 of Swords. Anyway, 6 of Swords is transition, which makes perfect sense. So in 6 of Swords, you're moving. Can you tell it's a new deck? I like it though. 6 of Swords is about transition, right? It's about moving from something that is emotionally not fulfilling because of your ideas or beliefs, right? Because of your position in relation to it, because of your perception of it, or your perspective about it, or just the beliefs that you're holding as a result. And it's usually a facilitated transition, right? So you're moving from that place of emotional turbulence into a place of smooth sailing. Nothing better than to have the Wheel of Fortune sitting next to this, because the Wheel of Fortune is about that cycle, right? It's about how cycles move. It's about how the elements always transition one into the next. And so let's consider, right? We're talking about transitioning. We're talking about shifting. So that could be Pluto energy, right? Beautifully trining the North Node, asking us to be in witness to our own cycles, to be in witness to our own growth. Also, this could be that Mars, Venus, and Saturn energy, right? Because Saturn, of course, is all about process and the way that we move through, right? Your obligations, your duties, your status quo, right? And this is always moving, it's always shifting, it's always changing. And so the only way that you can figure out how and where you're moving is to be in awareness of your why, right? We move because, right? Nobody moves for no reason. You always move because there's always a why, right? I mean, let's face it, sometimes, you know, you get bumped, but if you'd like to have a conversation about how and why, look at that. We got the 7 of Wands right after it. Swords, 7 of Swords. Anyway, we can always have a conversation about how we could perhaps, if you were willing to invest some time in a conversation, say that there are no accidents, right? So no amount of motion or no incidence of motion that you ever undertake is baseless or random, right? No coincidences always a chosen motion, always a specific set of circumstances that's going to take you from point A to point B, no matter what that point is. So then we have the Seven of Wands. My goodness, the Seven of Swords. I got wands on the brain. Anyway, Seven of Swords. This is about deception, right? See that sweet little fox? I don't love it that foxes are deceptive energy, by the way. I don't love that. But we'll take it here because it just is what it is. So Seven of Swords is usually about deception or self-deception, right? And it's swords energy. So this is air, this is ideas. So this is a way that you are believing something that might not be true, right? Which would remind you or allow you to realize that you need to release something, right? We've got this single down here that he's sitting on. So we have the 6 plus this new idea, right? One added gives you the idea, right? That something, perhaps you just never know. But this is about deception. This is about finding the place where you are in a wrong belief, right? Where you're holding a belief that might not be true. So remember that we're talking about Jupiter and Neptune also being conjunct, right? There's a real need to dig into that energy and find out if there's any disillusionment, right? If there's anything that is misguided or misaligned. And if there is, then those need to be dealt with, right? We need to find a way to choose Two of Wands. Yes, hallelujah. Two of Wands, we're choosing that highest option. We're choosing that highest why, right? We talked at great length about how the Queen of Wands is the mistress of the why, right? This is about being passion driven, spirit led. This is about making those choices, right? And as we move from that place of emotional discontent or ideological discontent, right? And that's a real thing, right? We're talking a lot about Mercury and Chiron along, in Aries, along with the moon and the sun. So this is about how your heart and your identity could be expressing from a position that is maybe unhealthy, maybe unnecessarily unhealthy. The bonus is because we have all of this energy that asks you to move right along with it and make new choices. You can absolutely choose something new in the blink of an eye, right? In the blink of an eye. This is the key. In the blink of an eye. It doesn't take any more than your decision. And then every consequence of that decision becomes part of your why. What does it also require? Presence. This is an 11. This new moon is at 11 Aries. So we're going to take that. Presence. What is required here in each one of these pairings and in their sum total? Your presence, right? You have to be present in your why. You have to be present in your devotion to that why. You have to be present in walking away from, moving toward, leaving behind what is no longer serving you in terms of belief, right? What is outdated, moving towards something new, in honoring that cycle. And then also being present in not just recognizing where you are perhaps holding incorrect beliefs that are slowing your progress or keeping you from where you're going, but also your presence in making this brand new decision, right? This is an elevated decision that will affect your world, right? Very important. And the most important thing is your presence, because without it, none of it works. Without it, absolutely none of it is relevant. So your presence, as always, is the key. So we have wind here, which is lovely, right? This is a beautiful card of air. 63, this is a 9 card. 9, of course, is the ending of cycles, witnessing endings, right? And so beautiful at a new moon as well. So let's talk about wind, right? The symbol of wind represents the element of air. It rules communication, thought, song, and inspired ideas, right? It also signifies change with qualities both positive and negative, right? Much like swords. The wind blows from each of the 4 directions. Yep, sure does. And there are qualities bestowed by each. The south, carrying a new sense of trust, helping you gently begin to discard habits and parts of you that are no longer needed. Right? We talked about that right there. The west, calling you to more introspection, a willingness to make final decisions, to let go of attachments and ego desires. Right? The north, moving to bring you wisdom and strength, certainly. The east, carrying clarity of vision and purpose. Well, okay then. Whichever way the wind is blowing for you, the message, which the wind either whispers or shouts, is a challenge. It may take courage at first to turn and face the wind, but you will find exultation in moving toward it and receiving its lessons. When the spirit of the wind comes calling, it's a sign of change. Perhaps you need to change your mind about something. Perhaps an old way of doing things has become automatic, and now that you've gained greater clarity, you can make a new choice. Regardless of what the change is, you can expect to be understood and to have clear communications with others at this time. Ideas are solid, and the shift that is being called for is in the highest good of all. Okay, listen, if that is not everything we just talked about, I don't know what is. I absolutely urge you to just sit with the concept of your why at this new moon. Really allow your sense of true north to come in and hold that space, and everything else, right? Everything else will fill in around it. Pay attention, right? Pay attention to the difference between swords and wands too, since I just couldn't make that work today. Swords, of course, are air energy, right, which we have here, and then wands are fire. So pay attention to how your ideas are creating your motivation, your passion, and vice versa, right? How your passion can shape your ideas. Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, we will have another conversation before this week is over about Venus moving into Pisces and about the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction. But for now, know that the next full moon is a Libra full moon. So this will be about relationships, balance your relationships with others, and how you show up as you, right? Anyway, big blessings. Blessed new moon.